Hello, this is Candy Maths.
And today we'll be looking at how to find the centre of a circle, writing the circle equation, and how to find the tangent to a point on a circle. So first, let's go to finding the centre of a circle. If we have a line and we know it's the diameter, or it crosses through the centre of the circle, the midpoint of that line from the 2 points it crosses the circle will be the same as the centre of the circle itself. So in this question here, A is minus 3,8 and B is 5,4. We can calculate the midpoint of the line by calculating the average of the 2 points. So in this case, that will be minus 3 plus 5 over 2 for the x, and 8 plus 4 over 2 for the y. So that comes to 1,6 for our centre of the circle. And with that, that concludes the finding the centre of the circle. Now let's go on to writing equations for circles. So the basic formula for a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, where r is the radius and the centre of the circle is a, b. Using this information, we can move on to our first example question. So the point 4, minus 2 lies on the circle 8, 1. Find the equation of the circle. Here I've assembled this little diagram to help us visualize the radius. From this question, we see we already have the center of the circle and we have a point. The only thing missing to fulfill the equation I shown previously is the radius. So to find the radius, we can see that we could do a bit of Pythagoras here. A, B, C, where c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So r is the square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared. So r is the square root. That's 9 to 5. So r equals 5. Now if we pop that from the equation before, see x minus, that's a shift right by 8, and a shift up by 1 equals radius squares. 5 times 5 is 25. And that concludes finding the equation for circles. Finally, let's look at tangents to circles. Say we have this circle here and this tangent here. The perpendicular to the tangent at the point where the tangent touches the circle is always crosses the center of the circle. And if we have two tangents, their perpendicular lines will always intersect at the center of the circle. This is another way to calculate the center of the circle that I didn't mention before. Now to put this into practice, let's go over to this question here. Circle C has equation x minus 2 all squared plus y minus 6 all squared equals 100. Verify that point 10, 0 lies on C. That's part A. So to do that, we just substitute 10 for our x and 0 for our y and make sure that that equals the right-hand side. So to do that, which is the same as 8 squared plus 6 squared, because negative times negative is positive, which is 64 plus 36, which is 100, which, as we know, is identical to 100, or right-hand side. So if you're feeling fancy, you can end that with a quadrate demonstrandum. which is just Latin for what was needed to be demonstrated, has therefore been demonstrated. So now let's do part B. So for part B, find an equation of the tangent to C at point 10, 0, giving your answer in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. So to do this, we need two coordinates. We have the given coordinate here, and we need the center of the circle. Using the equation from before, we know that that's just 2, 6 from this. So let's call this one our coordinate 1, and this one here our coordinate 2. So then if we say y2 minus y1 equals m, x2 minus x1. M multiplied by x2 minus x1. So we can use this equation to calculate our gradient, which is m. So to do this, y2, 0, minus y1, 6, equals gradient multiplied by x2, which is 10, minus x1, which is 2. Rearrange this to say m equals minus 6 over 8. Now we do a very similar variant to this equation, and we say y minus y1, which in this case is 6, equals our gradient multiplied by x minus x1, which in this case is 2. We can simplify this by saying y plus 6 over 8 x minus then 6 over 8 multiplied by 2, which is 12 over 8 minus 6 equals 0. That's close to the form they want it in. Now we can simplify this again by saying y plus 6 over 8 x. We add these two, minus 12 over 8 minus 6 is the same as minus 15 over 2 equals 0. Now to get rid of these pesky fractions, we can multiply everything by 8. So we say 8y plus 6x minus 15 over 2 multiplied by 8. That will give us minus 60 equals 0. And this is our final answer. And with that, this concludes the tangent to circles and our video on circles for today. Thank you for watching.